want though?
Yeah.
Okay. Lord. Alrighty. Share, share, share. Sharing the video.
Here we go. All right. Share this page.
Okay, watch party starting.
2 minutes until showtime.
Right. Mm-hmm.
All right, and
Hi,
restream
Junior. Hi,
chat.
Christina.
Where are they?
On our page.
All right. I'm just opening the hold on. Restream. Serious.
What's that?
Oh, you got restream up? Good.
Yeah, is that who's that trying to
Somebody's
do?
trying to call in. I don't know who.
Your
it is.
phone?
Yeah. It's a number I don't recognize. What?
What's Elisa's last name?
I have to figure it out. All right.
1 minute until showtime.
Hold on. Should be in here. It's CARLSON.
Wait, CR.
CARLSON.
Okay,
All right, I've got to
Okay.
have the videos come back is what I need to do. Unmute. Come on.
Don't be dying on me. Take a purple pen.
Yeah, I need to bring the
Okay.
video back now. Hold on.
Where are you?
Start. Yes, to start video.
All
Hey
right.
guys, just restart your video now.
I will do that right now.
All right.
All right.
There we go. All right. And
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4,
5 seconds.
3, 2, 1. Don't hold radio. CEO of the ACU network.
I do. I know. Can't show labels.
For the next 2 fun-filled hours, get ready to learn something new, be inspired,
cut it out.
enlightened, spooked, helped, laugh, cry, and be awakened. And now, your hosts of Awakening the Unknown. You never know what these two will be up to next. So please welcome Susan Swanbeck and Michelle Sullivan.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, hey there. Hi there. Hello there, everybody. How are you doing tonight?
Welcome to Mystery Guest Wednesdays. And presenting to you today, it's not a mystery anymore, is Mr. Carl Johnson and Elise Gianmarco Carsling of Panorama Paranormal, business partners extraordinaire. Tons of fun adventures we're going to hear about today. I hear we got some new surprises in store for you guys today from them. So it's going to be a heck of a
Otis,
show.
stop.
Oh, the boys.
Sorry, the boys are driving me nuts here
Yeah.
today. I just wanted to remind you guys before we do start the show that we are screening all calls. You will hear a certain piece of music. Before we do take any callers on the line, we've had a local Sunday perv. So
Yeah, we have our own personal Merv, the perv, that calls in and says disgusting things on air.
So from now on, all calls do get screened ahead of time before you're even allowed to come on to the live.
That's right.
Sorry.
No disrespect to
So
our
all
guests
of the
or
listeners, will be hearing a certain piece of music. So
It's one of those you can bump to, though.
yeah.
You guys a piece that you can just subscribe to.
Yeah, when you hear this certain piece of music, we're screening calls and then
That's
we'll come
right.
back to you. Okay.
That's right. We don't want any disrespect to our guests or
Absolutely not.
our listeners. So it's very important that we make sure we keep Merv the Perv away from you guys.
Yeah.
Till we find out exactly who it is,
Mm.
which we will.
Mm.
Mhm.
So,
guys,
what's new?
welcome.
Hey, Annabelle, how you doing?
Tell us, guys, how's everything?
Everything's usually pretty good. You may hear Carl coughing a little bit. He does not have a cold. Unfortunately, this morning, the apartment next to his was on fire.
Oh my God.
Put it out before it spread, but he's still coughing because he looked like Ash Wednesday head to toe, apparently.
Wow.
What the heck?
The fireman said that he saved the house, and the lady next door was safe.
Thank
It
God.
turned out well, but you may hear him coughing for that reason.
Oh my God, Carl, you're a firefighter on your off hours.
Yes, I had to carry her down the stair. Well, 2/3 of the stairs was me carrying her because she didn't have any presence of mind to get out of the house. What she was doing was jumping up and down and blocking my way, saying, "Oh, Carl, put it out, Carl, put it out." I come downstairs, get water, run back up, and I did douse the fire. It took 4 trips up, but I had to breathe in that dark gray smoke, very heavy.
Yeah.
You can actually feel the heaviness of that smoke. And I'm coughing, and she's jumping in front of me. Oh, put it out, put it out, put it out. I put her out like the cat. But oh
Was
my
there
God.
a lot of damage?
If I had left, the bathroom, upstairs bathroom is totally destroyed, but you know, it can be rebuilt, but
Right.
tiles are cracked and all that, ceiling and bubbles and all.
Wow.
But had I left like 20 minutes before, she would, and this is no exaggeration, not even supposition, the house would be destroyed, my belongings would be gone, and she wouldn't be living
It's a
now.
big old Victorian, so with the big long staircase. The fire happened upstairs. She was upstairs sleeping. She had dumped the ashtray in the bathroom wastebasket and went back in her room.
Oh my
My
goodness.
son is the owner of the house, so while I was waiting for him to come over and the fire trucks to arrive, she went back inside the house, sat down on the sofa, and lit up a cigarette to calm herself.
Oh my God. What the
I'm
hell?
sorry, that's too funny.
Oh my God.
Sure.
It's just a matter of time before. So if I'm clear, as Elise was saying, when I'm clearing my throat, it really is. I can feel it still.
Oh, of course you inhaled all that horrible smoke and oh my God.
I got some of that still. Yeah.
Well, wow, you jumped in there. You carried the lady down the stairs. Like, wow, you should be an honorary fireman.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
You know, it's just that what was the alternative? To let that house burn, lose my belongings? You know, she would
That's true.
be gone. Yeah. So it wasn't something. That's my sister was telling me. You shoulda. You shoulda. You shoulda.
You just reacted.
What you go? No.
So that's
I should have not told her. No, but it was actually a success story. It's an unfortunate thing, but
oh,
a lot of blessings entail. Because I was just about to leave, and I said, "What is this smoke?" But what is this? Oh, what smoke? Yeah, there was a lot.
oh my
And I had to bust in the bathroom door. I had to put my shoulder into it. It took 3 tries. On the 3rd try, it opened because the air suction had sealed that because the fire was inside it. She dumped out ashes in a wastebasket, hot ashes.
no,
And then the
man.
plastic trash liner burned. So that's what made the acrid smell in the house. So I had to get my way in there. Things could have been worse.
It's a blessing that you were there able to help and solve the whole situation and literally rescue her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because who knows? She probably would be sitting here. Hey, I might as well light a cigarette with the fire going on in the bathroom. It's already got fire, so hey.
Yeah, I'm not hurting anything now.
Oh my God.
Ah, goodness.
That is crazy. Is she an elderly woman?
She's 70 and going on 95 or 6,
Yeah.
She's 70.
That way.
That'll do.
Oh, what a blessing. Thank God you're okay. Thank God she's okay. Thank God your
Yeah.
house is okay.
Yeah, she's a polyglot. She speaks several European languages. She's well traveled, and she can't open a box of cereal without tearing it in half. Here's
Sounds
the top
like my
third of
kid.
it off.
It sounds like she's going to be using your bathroom quite a bit now, Carl.
I'm afraid that's exactly what's happening now. Yes.
Yeah. Wow. But thank God that is a blessing, and I'm really, really glad that you're here. You made it, and
Thank
you're
you.
here today because that's definitely you could have canceled on us if you're not okay. That we would have understood it completely, by the way.
Yeah, I was wondering how this was going to go, if I'd be able to come on tonight, because I had to sit in my car for a half an hour just regaining my breath, because what happens when you get enough of that material in your lungs and thorax, I couldn't take any deep breaths, so I just had to wait for that to work its way out.
Right.
Oh, that's
On
horrible.
Act Wednesday, yes.
Horrible. Did anybody need to go by ambulance to the hospital? Did she need
No.
to go? No. Okay, good.
Now, make
Yeah,
sure.
I had to check. I was thinking of, going in, but they would have admitted me, and I would have had the test. I had the test outside, so I cleared.
Oh, thank
But I
you.
can feel it. It's just, it was like that burning smoke going in, so I can still feel some of that.
Oh, of
Wow.
course.
So
I can imagine just that tightness too in your lungs from all just inhaling all that garbage.
I'm delighted to be here.
We're happy that you guys are both here today and you made
Ladies,
it.
you ladies.
And, and then, if I ever start a fire, I hope you're with me.
Yeah. So did you receive the materials I sent you via email?
Yeah, I did receive them. I went through the old email and then I sent it to the new email.
One of those pictures is kind of big. I don't know if it's too
Unfortunately-
large to show.
Yeah, I know it's a pain in the butt, but unfortunately, Blog Talk only allows me to post so much before the numbers go from 100 down to 30.
Yeah.
They don't like a lot of information. They like short, sweet, straight up and to the point.
Yeah. So for some reason, Blog Talk's becoming a little bit limited that way, though.
It's really weird.
But
We'll
guys,
do what we can.
yeah,
Yeah.
we definitely. So I hear there's an EVP. I hear there's other new things. What have you guys been working on lately? What's been going on in your lives?
Hold on. Let's see if I can pull up this.
Because Panorama Paranormal has been busy, I'm assuming. I know Dual Demonology has been busy.
Yeah, it's the two things I was just going to talk about. Yep.
Yes.
This is the upcoming coming. Mm-hmm.
So
Going on the lecture circuit, trying to expand our horizons and get out there and share with people, because that's our favorite thing to do.
right. How's that been going though? With you guys have had a lot of events happening, right?
Yes, upcoming this year, got quite a few things going. Television spots, a few in the works too.
Really good. That's awesome. Travel Channel?
The Travel Channel, most of these on. You were saying, Elise?
Oh, no, I was going to say Panorama got asked to do an interesting talk a few weeks ago at a library. Because we approached them about doing a paranormal talk of some sort. And the librarian said, we're doing a series on the Dewey Decimal System.
Oh, yeah.
You'd be perfect. And I thought, really?
How does that fit in? But
You could fit in. Apparently the 000 category includes a lot of paranormal and cryptids and just everything they don't know where to file it. They put under the zeros, and that's the paranormal.
Oh,
so Elise gave a
wow.
very charming introduction and explained what Panorama Paranormal is, what it's about, and how that fits into the Dewey Decimal
Yes,
System.
please
For
tell
our-
us, for all of our
Yeah.
new listeners, please give us start from the beginning, guys. Tell us from how it all started and how it's grown, and just tell us everything. We want to know all the gossip.
Well, I met Elise and I met James. That's pretty much how it started. No, I became acquainted with Elise through the Johnston, Rhode Island Historical Society, of which she is now president. And I was giving a talk on historic Slater Mill, where I am employed. And we started talking, found out we had many interests in common. And that is where, well, it was just the next spring that Panorama Paranormal sprung from. By panorama, that means it's all encompassing. It's not limited to ghost hunting. It can be ufology, it can be cryptids.
Very nice.
I say sinkholes. She stopped short of
We
that.
haven't gone to any sinkholes.
No, we haven't
Who
found
says
it.
that?
Yeah, I'd say, even if it's an anomalous sinkhole, and we can't explain why I say it, but we just haven't found any yet, so we might.
Oh, the Freetown State Forest has plenty of sinkholes, guys.
What we do is go fall in one, and we'll have a story to tell you
Yeah,
about.
but if it's something where the earth is sucking, there is a natural explanation, but we may not find that right away. So that's something we just explore. We are the ones who will push away the caution tape. What are you doing over there? We go in there.
That is so
That kind of thing.
we have a 2-person group, which we like to joke. Our group consists of 2 people, but it works for us because he's the person that has all these years of experience, starting in at his house when he was a teenager.
Yeah.
And I've always had an interest, but not much experience, which just gives me a completely different point of view when we're looking at the same thing.
Right.
It works.
2 intelligent people from 2
Good.
different scopes. That's brilliant. You 2 are like the work of like a 6 to 8 person team, anyways.
Oh,
So
thank
you
so
guys,
much. I like to think of us as charming too. Well, she's charming. She's charming. It's more
oh,
important.
you're both charming.
charming than smart anyway. You know?
Both very intelligent and very charming, both of you guys.
It
You
is
charm the
more
pants off these ghosts.
Feel good.
You guys can charm the pants off of Bigfoot.
We try
Yes,
to
I thought
sometimes.
you wanted to do that.
Well, eventually. Shh.
Well, we should be the bait for that. You know, if it's a rogue male, they're going to find Elise before they find me.
She would.
I tell you, but I mean, yeah, I got a lot of questions to talk to you and ask you guys about because of all the
guide
new.
us through.
Speaking of all the Bigfoot stuff, there's been a lot of like current Bigfoot phenomenon that's been happening all over the country.
Oh yeah,
We
big
state
time.
of that.
Have you had any of that?
Have you guys had any more like experiences as far as Bigfoot? Any type of calls on that situation?
I have not, except that we're hearing more about it, but not specifically, you know, calls to us.
I
yet.
really hope we'd get more around Rhode Island with such a warm winter. No snow, I don't know. It's like any other animal, want to walk around more when it's warm.
Because I think I told you before, there was a Bigfoot populace in Rhode Island, centered in Cumberland and Woonsocket regions. And I used to explore that, but haven't done so in a while. I don't know if the critter still comes around here. It seemed to come in, actually, for some reason, it seemed to come in the warmer weather and would come in around March and April, and then would just be around this region until November, and then hike back up to Whitehall in New York, and then Canada, wherever it came from. I actually traced a path that could have taken a route through from Whitehall in New York down through New Hampshire. How it could have easily made its way into northern Rhode Island.
Oh my God!
So do you think it's the
Quite
same
a cogent
one or
study,
are
a
many
comprehensive
different
study of
ones?
this thing. You know, considering we were dealing with something that's not confirmed. We don't even know if it really exists. It's just indications about it. I'm convinced there was that presence out there. It's centered around 2 rogue males in northern Rhode Island.
Oh, okay.
And
So
I
not
said,
any real
Big
stories
Rhodey.
about a female Bigfoot, though. Really,
I haven't seen it. Well, I haven't seen one at all, but I've heard it. I've
Uh-huh.
seen evidence, and I've heard it. A living specimen. I've heard it.
How do you know it was female by listening?
Oh, I didn't know it was female. I think it was male actually because it was stomping. It was
Oh,
stomping on the ground, and Matt Moneymaker, who is the lead investigator with DFRO, finding Bigfoot, he told me that that's what the males will do to assert themselves and, you know, chase other males, you know, especially human males, out of their territory. And
like
it did really, I don't know what else. I grew up in a country environment. I don't know what else could have made that sound. It sounded like an elephant in the circus walking on hind legs with boom, boom.
Oh,
You know, now, if that was young guys harassing us, they would have been doing grunting things and making all kinds of noise. But no, this real thud, and it was approaching our team. That was before I knew Elise, but our team was almost only too ready to leave there.
really? Just when
Well, we
they
didn't
started
run
getting-
away. No, we
now,
walked really
what team
fast
was
though.
this?
What team was that, Carl?
That was with Beyond the Veil Paranormal and Bigfoot Seekers and the Big
Okay.
Rhodey exploration, Big Rhodey team. I don't know if you remember some years back, I was involved in that. It actually goes back about 8 and 9 years ago. Dina Palazzini founded the Beyond the Veil Paranormal and Big Rhodey. Actually, I came up with the name Big Rhodey because it's, you know, the nickname for Rhode Island is the ocean state, and it's also called Little Rhodey. So that's a play on that term, Big Rhodey.
Okay, that makes
Rhodey,
sense.
Rhode
It
Island.
doesn't say in Rhode Island
Why
all
Rhodey?
people have said, how can something so huge, you know, exist and be concealed in the state of Rhode Island? It's so small. Well, he doesn't know he's in Rhode Island.
It's
So
true, right?
he's headed toward the coast. That's what draws him. And for the time he crosses over into the boundary of Rhode Island, he is Big Rhodey, and he stays Big Rhodey until he leaves. So,
Right.
they call
So where
him.
do you think, like when you tracked him, where do you think he actually originates from?
I think he comes from southeastern Canada region and comes down through, there's a mountainous ridge there. It's part of the Appalachian Trail, but it divides off a little and comes down through there, continues down, and then there's this area in New York State called Whitehall. You know, it's in the vicinity of Albany. And he cuts through there because I tracked the woodland, you know, his easiest access through woodlands with his water surrounding, you know, or at least hugging it on one side. Comes down through there. Then he reaches Canada. There's a egress through Canada he could take down through the pine forest region.
Right.
Comes down and eventually winds up in the state of Rhode Island and comes into Cumberland and Woonsocket area.
Wow.
And actually I had it traced out, and it seemed to make sense the more I looked at it. Like a creature of that size, especially an intelligent bipedal creature, could make its way down there and back. They're almost supernatural, these big. I think they're physical creatures, but they have an element of this preternatural. They do things they shouldn't be able to do. And
Yes.
it could subsist on, small amphibians and small wildlife in that
Do you
area.
think they're vegetarians partly too in their diet?
Yeah, I think they're omnivores. They have to subsist on whatever they find, and they probably go through long, fasting periods. And then at that time, it might be because of the food sources down here. That's enough for a critter like that to live on, if it's not choosy.
Right, right.
So one night, the team and I, Dina was not with us, but a couple of members were, and we are out there until 10:30 at night. We did the tree knocking, and this was in a watershed area in Cumberland, and we had found a cave system there.
Okay.
Where they could have used that for concealment. Found all this evidence. Found a stream of row of twisted, broken trees were tied into knots.
Really?
I can't bend one. I can't break it. So who would take the time to bend, twist these trees, and spend hours and hours doing that? It made no sense. Somebody of greater strength than I have.
Wow.
And to take that much time to do it. They're about 3 inches thick, these trees.
Knocking.
Tree
And,
knocking, what they do is one of the things they do for
That's the
Bigfoot.
call in the Bigfoot. That's the system they use to communicate,
Wow.
sort of like echolocation. And so
Sorry.
we were trying to call the Bigfoot. We put out some bait for it, which was never touched. Carried.
To put out a cheeseburger and some French fries from Mickey D's.
Oh, corn cobs and whatever we didn't want to eat at the time. Cheeseburger, we would have accounted for that.
Huh.
And so then we start hearing that it became very silent. The cicadas and all the insects and the crickets stopped chirping. It became eerily silent. And I realized what it was. I don't hear any insects. And then we start to hear this thumping. Boom. We thought it might be tree knocking, but then it's the soil coming down this path. Now we braced ourselves. I forced myself to take a picture with just blackness, but we're standing there, and I just want to leave. Something about it's not like a demonic presence. It's just so physical. There's something so scary about Bigfoot. Maybe because of its human-like qualities.
Right.
It's
That's
a giant person, and it has a strange intelligence to it. So it started coming forward. We heard these footfalls. It sounded like it was approaching, and they're getting louder, and you could actually kind of feel the vibration there, and it's coming upon us. And we just forced ourselves to stay there for a while, but we didn't stay long.
Oh,
And
wow.
so we were frightened.
I would have gotten all excited. Bigfoot, come here, baby. Come on, come to mama. I'd be running down the path after them.
Well, if we had you with us, Michelle, maybe we would have had a major discovery.
I would have been like, we are not leaving, guys. This is when the going gets good here. And when the going gets good, this is it. Tough gets
He
going.
might have taken you, though.
That's fine with me.
Opens up some interesting possibilities of hybridization,
Right?
What could that have led to? I don't know. Maybe it'd be over on his side. You'd never communicate with us again.
I would send you guys a message one way or another. That's for sure. If I ever got kidnapped by Bigfoot, oh man, that would be awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. But the team just didn't, have the continued gravity to hold it together. We drifted off into other interests, and people moved away.
I think it's time for you and Elise to take maybe a camping trip and get Panorama Paranormal looking for Bigfoot again.
Why don't you come with us?
I'd be happy to. We'd go. Right, Sue?
What?
We go hunt Bigfoot, right?
Don't bother me none.
We're going. That's it. That sounds like a plan, honestly.
Like with ufology and cryptozoology research, you have to realize you're probably not going to find what you're after. It'll be an interesting experience. You can confirm, maybe get a little evidence. You're not likely to see the UFO, not likely to find the Bigfoot.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know somebody who's seen one 3 times, but I don't go to where it is now, and I just haven't had that kind of fortune with it. I was fortunate to hear what I'm pretty sure was a specimen of the Sasquatch or Bigfoot. I don't know how else to account for it.
Wow, that's amazing, though.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been reports about Bigfoot all over the country lately. Michigan, I believe, he got caught supposedly on a traffic cam, crossing the street because there's webcams everywhere and on everything.
Oh yeah, you
Remember
showed me
that?
Yeah, you did.
So supposedly
You showed me that.
I mean, there's been like a lot of new just Bigfoot stories popping up like all over the country.
Yeah, people are putting trail cams in their yards for wild.
Yes. Yes, and people are just catching like this amazing footage and kind of really convincing stuff. Really convincing stuff. I mean, this was literally like our motor vehicles traffic cam. They caught him literally in Michigan crossing the street.
Oh yeah.
So
It's too good to be true. I have to doubt it, but then again, what are we looking for? Sometimes it really is convincing. There's some footage out there. That's really
Yeah,
What do
I
you
mean,
think of the Patty film, Frank
It-
Patterson's film, in Bluffs Creek in the 1967? They called it Patty, or Patterson. This obviously female Bigfoot had pendulous breast. Uh, that's it's almost convincing. That's another one that's too good to be true, but maybe
think
it. You look at it. Every time I look at it, I want to believe it more, and I think I do believe it more. But
I'm believing in Bigfoot a lot more these days. There's just been so much coming out. Like, and supposedly there's the portal that's opening in the cosmos, in the universe, which is
oh yeah,
supposedly opening up a whole world of 12 dimensions and all. There's been an abundance of alien stuff coming out, UFOs everywhere. The International Space Station a couple of days ago caught another supposed UFO approaching the ISS again.
Yeah.
So there's just been, since the portal started opening, it's just been like an overwhelming pop of just ufology and cryptozoology reports like everywhere. So could it be the 12 dimensions opening? Could it be that the universe is making it more possible? The government did tell us that UFOs are real and aliens are real. So
and they're not telling everything either. So
right, then of course they're not telling everything. That's absolutely a fact, you know.
they
Could it,
jealously guard those secrets. Yeah, of
and
course.
could
There's something
Bigfoot be a
to it.
time traveler? Like that's something that they suggest sometimes too.
That's been my theory.
Yes, that Bigfoot is a time traveler supposedly and travels through the dimensions. Could it be? I would love to find out, but I think it's a matter of time before we actually do find out, believe it or not.
Well, something that applies to quantum physics would be an axiom that so for one thing, nothing can exceed attain or exceed the speed of light, except light itself, until it does.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There are exceptions to all these. Yeah.
Pretty amazing stuff though. Like I could send you guys some I've gotten some really crazy footage lately from just people everywhere about the Bigfoot phenomenons and the UFOs and everything. So I'll have to send you some of these videos so you guys can check them out.
Please do.
We actually had a show we did last week, just kind of updating everybody on the current reports of Bigfoot, of UFOs and alien stuff, and how the government's processing that, how the International Space Station, the portal opening in the universe, and so there was a lot of interesting things that have just kind of been popping up. But the weird part, the part that kind of gets me the most is things were pretty kind of quiet prior to the portal opening. And then the portal opened, and then it's like an overabundance of stuff.
That's supported by the fact these convergent phenomena that things seem to come in flaps. Why was it quiet? Why weren't there so many reports? So in the next decade, people are coming over with UFOs. Tower Hill Road in Cumberland, Rhode Island. That's where the Bigfoot was sighted, and by 3 eyewitnesses who had spoken. Very convincing. One of them she doesn't even want to be named. And
must have been very fearful for them. Absolutely. To be
narrow road. It's only 7 feet wide. It's open to double traffic, but it's not demarked because it's such a narrow road, and it's windy and hilly. UFOs, spirits, apparitions, and Bigfoot presence. All three converging this road.
Yeah. I honestly believe that it's literally TikTok, the clock is ticking, that it's literally going to become soon that we're going to literally be verifying whether Bigfoot is actually real or not, because it's just been too much has just opened up and too much has just started happening. And the government's not telling us everything. Obviously we know that they don't. The government does not tell us everything.
Even the government? Come on.
It doesn't. President Trump, if you're listening, hello, come on. You got out with the alien stuff. Tell us the truth about the other stuff. Tell us all of the truth about the other stuff, Well,
evidence, there is a scattering of evidence, but when it's found, it's suppressed, or more often it's lost.
And technology is helping and hurting because there is more technology around. Everybody's got a camera, everybody's got a phone, but it's that much easier to make your own videos at home on top of it.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
You don't know what to believe.
It's pretty amazing stuff though. Yeah. It really, it's true though. It's just the reports that we've been getting is just like amazing stuff. Last week I got a report. This is a kind of a funny one, but a former scientist from the Area 51 was in Las Vegas.
Oh, I remember
that
one.
This is the report I got. He was in Las Vegas enjoying his retirement. Okay. Got pissed drunk as hell, and spilled his guts to everybody about the whole alien phenomenon, what he
Wow.
saw, what he went through, where it was at. I mean,
Lisa, there's a guy you want to drink with.
Yeah.
right?
Everything. Spilled everything.
Spilled the beans on
Yep.
everything he had gone through in his experience. Like he had just a crazy drunken weekend.
Well, they must have said that he was like inebriated, so don't take him seriously. You know, he's just rambling.
Oh, but there was a lot of convincing report, like from things that he was saying, things that were actually able to be confirmed afterwards, after the fact. And they put that out there that, I mean, he kind of like broke his cover because he spilled his beans about everything, who he was, what his job was there, what he did, what he saw, everything, spilled the beans on everything.
Did he vanish though, mysteriously?
No, still supposedly, I'm sure not in Vegas anymore. But
in Las Vegas.
Right. That then scientists have just come out saying that time travel is an actual thing. They're talking about holographic stuff is an actual thing. How they can do physical transference from one place to another. How this
apportation is starting to be supported through physics.
Yes,
physics.
They're saying it's been out there. It's just got put out there literally within the last couple weeks. Just insane stuff.
Yeah, all of a sudden there's this flap of like revelations and theories and all. Well, as William Shakespeare phrased it in Hamlet, there are more things in this heaven and earth that are dreamt of in your philosophy, Horatios.
It's true. William Shakespeare was right on that one.
The actual quote is, there are more things in this heaven and earth, Horatio, that are dreamt of in your philosophy.
Yes.
It's true. You know, like
I believe it. I think that there's just, I'm going to have to send you guys a lot of the stuff that I found. I'll have to send it to you. It's just insane reports lately, insane reports. Literally 2 days ago, again, like I said, the ISS, the International Space Station feed that goes around the earth 16 times a day.
Talk about having a different point of view.
Yes. And there was one video very convincing because there's a Russian astronaut on the ISS right now. And you see him literally reporting back to his mission control in Russia, reporting back in Russian, and you hear, and somebody is actually literally is the translator for him, and he's reporting in that he's seeing this spacecraft, the direction, what it is. It's not a false thing to them anymore. This is something that they literally are expecting, and they're seeing it all on a regular basis.
This is present. This is a cosmonaut who's on the ISS, and he's actually reporting anomalous sightings and
as it's happening. And then not only that, because the ISS feed is visible to everyone, people are watching it diligently and capturing insane footage of extraterrestrials, UFOs, the ships, the motherships, things coming close to us. And it's being caught. They're putting it out there now. It's going crazy on YouTube, crazy on these sites, and it's visible to everyone.
Right.
So if we happen to be watching the ISS feed at the time, we'd be visibly seeing spacecraft like that. And the astronauts are reporting it in like it's just one of the mill things that they see on a regular day, not even least bit surprise, no even excitement anymore in their voices. Yeah, it's just like kind of like a normal thing that they're just reporting in now.
Yeah.
So what's next?
Waiting for that big breakthrough. We've had several big breakthroughs.
That's what's next.
Like what?
Fantastic.
Tell us what kind of things that you guys have found lately.
We do some ghost hunting, and because that is more accessible. One thing we have run into, I don't know if other paranormal groups experience this, but our teams, we will be contacted by a potential client, somebody that has a question of paranormal disturbance in their home, and they want us to come over. They say, "Oh, so glad we found you," and then they cease communicating suddenly. All of a sudden, they change their minds, and something panics them.
Yeah.
That's happened to us a few times. That's happened to me in other past teams too. I think people kind of chicken out. I think people want to know the truth, but then they're afraid to know the truth.
Once you've got a research team coming there with their instrumentation and documenting, then suddenly it's too real. Like, oh, I've got professionals in my house now, so this is real haunting.
It's reality at that point to them. It's reality.
We're not very unnerving. That's one another benefit of just having two people. We're not coming in, like Ghostbusters from the movie with a big truck with lights on top and 18 people and equipment. And it's just the two of us sitting down for a nice conversation. Usually that's what it starts with, it's just a conversation the first time.
Yeah, I'll give you a premise. I consider this a very successful, it's not conclusive because these things rarely are, but
Right.
a very successful investigation. We encountered somebody, he contacted us, and we've become friends with him in a sense. And we'll call him Joe, just use that name. And he had a disturbance, actually, his mind. It seemed like a certain psychosis. He was hearing voices.
Oh.
He's had some ups and downs in his past. And he was hearing voices in his head. One voice, I should say, a masculine voice, he told us it was. And the voice was derisive. He's swearing at him, using vulgarities, telling him he should kill himself. He should give up on everything. He's worthless.
And he had some physical trauma. He had an accident. He had also had some mental trauma. He was in some trouble for a little while. So, we just wanted to hear him out.
Yeah,
What his story
we
was.
figured, with these troubles in his past, naturally, this is the psychological device that his mind is, probably his subconscious is coming through and like telling me he's worthless, and he has to fight through that. So we interviewed him and recorded that interview, at least did. When we played back the audio recording, guess what? We heard his voice too. It's
Nice.
Yay! So it's not paranoia schizophrenic.
We were just talking to him, and he was a nice guy, and we kind of felt bad, and we were just having a nice conversation. He was telling us things. I had a very small reel-to-reel, little cassette recorder, the mini cassettes. I said, James, if I put this on the table while we talk, oh, no problem. Way over on the coffee table, we had been sitting like corner ways, he and his girl, just chatting. About a minute in listening to it the next day, it was like someone leaned into the recorder and whispered and started swearing.
Wow.
Honestly, if I had not been there, I would have thought somebody faked this.
That is so exciting. When things like that happen, it's just like,
it's calling him like you effing jerk, and it's actually
gonna effing kill you. Yeah, it was pretty
it's
harsh.
so weird.
Yeah.
Actually, we thought it was his mind. The voice is the psychosis, and then we hear the voice.
wow. Do you have that?
I do, but I don't think it's gonna play very well because it's on my phone.
Oh, wow.
No, but
Yeah, well, she's going to look for the. You might have to augment your volume, turn it up as much as you can. But yeah, we do. That's a valuable piece of evidence because, of course, we thought it was all in his mind until we heard it too, and we have become friends with he and his wife.
Wow, that is amazing. Yeah, because you obviously were looking for signs of paranoid schizophrenia.
This was just last summer and fall. We started communicating with him regularly, and it was so good to him to have this verification that other people heard it too, because that was the first time it was ever recorded.
Hold on. So how do you
I'm going
explain
to get
it?
coffee.
Okay. So, because next time when you guys have EVPs, you guys can send it to Sue prior and we can play it for
Yeah,
everybody
have it
ahead of
ready.
time. You know what I mean? She's got to go coffee. Her doggy's being a little bit he's hounding the food and making lots of racket with it. That's all.
Okay, we have a few snacks in front of us too, because to settle my throat mostly and sharing with Elise.
Yeah, I would assume a lot of fluids to just kind of clean that all out of you, because that's just probably going to be coughing up nasty phlegm, and just that black smoke just really does kind of number on.
My nose is like, it's like,
And I don't know if you'll be able to hear this.
we'll give it a try. We're
But-
informal.
You hear a man talk, then you hear what sounds like a long inhale. And then you hear the whisper. That's what made it really creepy. You hear somebody inhale, then say
Yeah,
it.
most EVP spirit voices whisper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
With the microphone on this thing.
Oh, awesome.
Let's see.
Try.
Well, when I went through them, they're really shitty ones, but in my head I remember where they are, but they're not there anymore.
Nope, I think I missed it.
Oh crap! I heard that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm
But you
sorry.
did hear a little voice. It's hard. You're in the room.
All right, hold on. Play that again. You got to play that again.
Dog
Get
has
somebody
one.
back here.
Gotta hear that. Gotta hear that again. Wow.
We'll find it.
So the gentleman is talking, and then you hear a big sigh, and then you hear afterwards the whispers coming into it, and it's the voice. Is it working?
All right. You're going to hear somebody say, "Do you have a message for me?" Then it'll get silent. Then you'll hear the inhale, and then you'll hear the message.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Oh my gosh, cool.
Here we go.
You have a message for me?
Oh my God, I could hear that from where I am. I
I
could
think
hear.
what he says is, "I'm going to kick your effing."
He either says I'm going to get you or I'm going to kick your effing.
It sounded like that. It sounded like that. Honestly, like I'm gonna.
Yes, different voice, a male voice, but different.
That's not the same voice as the person talking, asking questions. That's for sure. It's not.
Yeah.
Here it is again.
Okay.
What I heard is I'm going to get you, you effing, and then indistinguishable.
I'm gonna get you.
Yeah.
I heard okay, F you.
And then,
Inhale before.
But I put the headphones
and
on.
it comes out 5 seconds after Joe asked, "Do you have a message for us?"
Wow, that's a great EVP though, guys. That's
I
great.
can
Good
hear it
work.
better on the
And he has learned since with our coaching, but on his own mostly, he has learned to distance himself from this presence. It's like it has a childlike mentality. I advised him. It's tough to say, well, easy to say, but tough to do. Don't take it seriously. It's like a child. It's like a younger brother.
Sometimes he tells us what it's saying when we talk to him. He'll be like, he just said he doesn't agree with what I just said. Or he just said you're an idiot.
So he's learned to not give it total validation and control
Right.
over his life like that. That's good. That's awesome.
I said its only strength is in persistence, but
That's right.
It's going to bug you like a little child, and unless you take it seriously, unless you're going to hear it, and that was borne out.
And you guys were able, that's the beauty of you guys, doing what you do, because now you were able to literally comfort him
Yeah.
and teach him how to deal with it and teach him how to separate and distance himself from that. And it's not taking complete run of his life anymore. So you did your job pretty darn good, guys.
Become friends with him and his wife, and then he has this, as I was saying, this validation. You're not crazy. You got people who understand and are willing to listen. We may not figure it all out, but you got people supporting you and listening to you.
Yes, yes, that's amazing.
He changed his residence and followed him. So
Yeah, so it wasn't
the place he was living in.
Oh, really?
Give up.
Really?
Yeah.
So he literally was hearing it at his other residence and thought that maybe it was haunted there and left and actually followed him. So what do you make of it though? Then what do you think it may be?
I personally think his mind has created this, and I'm not saying it's imaginary. I think his mind produced this, and it's taken on a life of its own, and it's an energy detachment, and it has its own personality, and it may have brought something in, some lower region entity.
Yeah, I think the stress of the troubles that he had, it was kind of berating himself. He created this thing with some negative energy.
And yet he's rationalizing it. He knows he's not worthless. He knows
he's doing well now.
So something in his mind was telling him, no, you don't deserve to get ahead. You don't deserve to improve your life or raise yourself up again. So I think his mind created this thing, but it took on a life of its own.
Yeah.
Wow, guys, that's awesome though. Good job. That's great.
Thank you. That's a banner thing. That was our first residential thing we were doing. First residential case.
That
and it
was one to jump into.
Wow. So that was your very first one, Elise?
Yeah, just plain residential, going into someone's house saying hello, we're here to help you. And
wow.
Oh, he had taken right by the Conjuring House.
That's right. Oh, you've heard of that house they called the Conjuring House in Harrisville, Rhode Island?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Have you guys been back since the last time?
Yeah, we've been there all together. I think Elise has been there probably 11 times she's been there. A lot of times.
Most of the time it's just for a visit. It's not, we're not walking around quarters every time we stop by there or anything. They're very, very nice people. I'm glad I met them.
The Heinzens, yeah.
Actually, they were on Kindred Spirits. I don't know if you saw that episode with Adam and Amy. And
Yeah,
Adam
no,
and
I
Amy-
did. That's Travel Channel too, I
Yeah,
believe,
we
right?
don't-
yeah, they were nice
I
enough.
watch
Adam Berry and
British
Amy
TV.
Green. Yeah.
They were nice enough to actually go to the house for the premiere of the show and watch it with everyone.
Adam and Amy, the stars of Kindred Spirits, were there, and we were
And
there.
the owners of the house were nice enough. They invited the Historical Society of
Burrillville.
Burrillville, the town that they're located in, had like a benefit for the Historical Society. Come watch, they charged admission, come and watch the premiere.
Oh,
with
that's so
stars from the
awesome.
show, and they made money
Very
for the
nice.
Historical Society. They're just very nice people.
That's
And
awesome.
That is pretty.
Old house.
And it kind of it helps removing the stigma of the scary
Yeah.
conjuring
That's
house.
what I said. The historical people are seeing that the paranormal people aren't a bunch of freaks, and the paranormal people are saying historians can be helpful. They're not always
Yeah.
just say that.
Yes, I mean, I think it's a great combination of historians
really
and
is.
paranormal investigators working together. I
It's a
absolutely
good
agree
night.
with that. I think that's really important. Like, you got to have the history. That's one of the most important things in the backgrounds of
Well, as
all.
I like to say at Slater Mill site, you can't have the hauntings without the history.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Go in tandem. My involvement. You remember my involvement with what they now call the Conjuring House, Round Top.
Oh yeah.
Yes, but for everyone who's a new listener, tell that story. Tell that story.
Well, way
I
back,
never get sick of hearing it.
way back when you were all little girls, if you were even born, Elise was riding a tricycle.
Bicycle.
Well, I am, yeah. Okay, you were up to bicycle at that point. What kind of age difference? No, it was actually in April 1972. I met Ed and Lorraine Warren at a lecture they presented at Rhode Island College. I was 17 years of age, and that evening I was invited by the group that put this on, sponsored their appearance, HIRO, Parapsychology Investigation and Research Organization based at Rhode Island College. I was invited to join, became a member, and we wanted to expand and have a residential case. We were looking at exterior settings, and my brother offered to place an ad in a local periodical. It was actually the Observer, North County Observer. My brother placed an ad advertising our group saying we would be willing to investigate a residential setting. 3 weeks to the day after he posted that, or it was published 3 weeks later, after it was published 3 weeks, we received a message from a Miss Carolyn Perrin in Harrisville, Rhode Island. She was alerting us to the strange happenings in her and her husband Roger's farmhouse in Harrisville, Rhode Island, which is part of Burrillville. And so our group elected to go out there. And indeed, it was a haunted house. We saw phenomena that first day we were there. It was a spooky place. I got to set this up, though. And I was the first one in, and I made some joke to Carol. I set them at ease right away. There's this eerie feeling just pulling up there. But the lady of the house, Carolyn Perrin, who's portrayed in the movie The Conjuring, she greeted me at the door. And I said, I hope we're not late. I had to ask directions in a cemetery. I saw this lone figure there, so I thought I asked him directions. Turned around, he was gone. And she laughed at that. So we came in. And my brother then, my twin brother, Keith Johnson, he was doing landscaping, so his hair was very light, and he had it parted in the middle. He had past shoulder length hair, and he was wearing his white muslin shirt, and he was holding a Bible. So one of the daughters, Nancy, one of the four daughters, and she looked out the window, saw Keith there, and she said, Mom, Jesus is here. That was our introduction to the Perrins family.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So we came in, and the girls took Keith by the hand. They were showing him the pond, and I instantly established a rapport with Carolyn because I was a funny guy. I seemed to know what I was doing.
Right.
So we conducted the interview process, the team and I think we had 6 people there from our team. And as we were talking to the Perrin family, I heard shuffling around, moving upstairs where the girls' bedrooms were located. I said, "You guys have company? I hear somebody up there." The girl said, "No, we hear that every day. We hear that. We hear people moving around up there."
Wow.
So I waited for the interview to resume, and I kind of backed off and made my way up the stairs.
Yeah.
I'm looking around, poking around up there. I'm in the kind of hallway that connects the rooms. I happened to see something black or dark out of my peripheral vision on the right side. I turned, and it's not even a form, a blackness rolled down this hall. The first thing I thought of was there was a fire in the house.
Right.
Yeah,
That
it's
thick
coming
black-
through. It's so solid seeming. And I reflexively closed my eyes, and it engulfed me. And I was waiting to smell smoke, but then it was gone. So I
Wow.
went back downstairs and I looked at my brother Keith. I'm like, giving him the twin look, like I got something on, man.
Yeah.
Then I made my way down to the basement. I was the first one down to the basement too. And at that time, they only had one single incandescent light bulb strung up there.
Yep.
And, but there was, some light coming in from the stairwell. So I didn't bring a flashlight down, of course.
Uh-huh.
And so then the light went off. All of a sudden, pitch blackness, except for way in the back, I could see what the stairwell was. I'm just in the darkness. You can imagine an 18-year-old Carl in the dark. You just hear, oh.
Oh my God.
And no, but I made my way back to the stairwell. It was like, wow, but the bulb was working, so we don't know why it didn't blow. So things like that were happening. And then they're telling us all about what they've been experiencing there, which is just, could devote the whole show to that.
Mm.
And we were upstairs in one of the girls' bedrooms. There was a window that was jammed open. Now, this was August 1973. We were involved in that case in August and September of 1973. And I tried to push this window down. It was like an ice box, and even though the window was open, and it was mid-August.
Wow.
So I tried to push that down, couldn't budge it. Roger said, I can't do anything with it, Roger Perrin. My brother recited a psalm, biblical psalm, and mentioned the name of Jesus. Well, right then, that window slammed shut. And then you heard flapping sound. Nancy, she had welts on her face as if they were finger marks.
Uh-huh.
So we knew something was up.
Wow.
I mean, comparatively, it was relatively minor activity, but it was consistent. It was happening about every day. These people had to live with it. That's why Andrea Perrin, the eldest daughter, she wrote a series of books later called House of Darkness, House of Light.
Yeah.
They did have happy times there, too. There's a lot of strange things going on. So we made another visitation. Carolyn Perrin was calling me. I bonded with her. She was calling me, it could be 8-10 times a day.
Wow.
Wow.
That's how
Telling me about what was happening there because I wanted to hear.
Mhm.
And I remember my father was living with my parents. Father's on his easy chair with his newspaper. He said, "Who is this woman who keeps calling you? Is this a girlfriend?" I said, "Not exactly, Dad.
Olden days, just the phone, huh?
Yeah, just the phone, the heavy old phone. Yeah, we weren't texting then." And I remember Carolyn telling me that she called me back. We had just been talking, and she called me back, said she was slicing an orange and blood seeped out of the orange, or some red substance that looked like blood dripped onto her feet. We went back there again, and when we went back for our second visitation, boy, had they changed. Carolyn had shrunken. She was noticeably thinner, looked older. She had scratches in her arm, and her husband, the first time, Roger Perrin, showed us welts and scratches on his arm.
Wow.
Oh my
So
God.
we decided to call in Ed and Lorraine Warren, with whom we were corresponding. I knew them. We'd become friends with the Warrens, the ghost hunting couple, and Lorraine.
Awesome.
It's not that we thought we were in over our heads. We just thought, what a nice touch it would be to invite in Ed and Lorraine and just, have a professional touch and benefit from their experience. I think it was my brother who came up with that plan. And I
It was a good plan.
Well, the director of our team, Donna, she placed the call to Ed and Lorraine. And I remember being on the phone with Ed Warren saying, I understand we're going to be working together if you'd like our case now. Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Aww.
The Warrens showed up and I helped conduct them through the house. Carolyn gave them a tour. There's a photograph, which has often been republished now, Lorraine Warren denied that we were ever involved with that. We were the only investigators in that house.
Well, we know the truth.
And that's that picture. You got the 18-year-old Colin next to Donna.
Mhm.
You weren't there. So.
No.
But yeah, and Carolyn is in front of us. So then we ceased hearing from Miss Carolyn Perrin.
Oh.
Even though I was her main contact, I didn't hear anything from her in another 3 weeks period. After 3 weeks, Carolyn did call me and she apologized for not getting in touch. And she told me that the Warrens had told them, she and her husband Roger, that they had to be the sole paranormal investigators there or they couldn't do any good. They said, we were just a bunch of kids. We couldn't do any good. And so that's why the parents had to go to them. It turned out it was an unfavorable ending, a bad association with me, and they had a bad party.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
not quite like it's represented in the movie.
Right.
What
Right.
happened was Lorraine, it's a long and involved story, but Lorraine conducted a seance in their house. Lorraine was famous for saying, I'll quote her, You must never attempt to speak to the dead.
Oh.
Oh, I knew her. And yes, she was doing seances left and right. So she set up a seance in the parents' house. It was, to contact this evil Bathsheba Sherman entity who was, nothing of the sort historically. And police has researched her. Keith has done research on that house in the past. So they conducted the seance. Carolyn seemed to be taken, I wasn't there for it, but I have heard eyewitness reports of it. Carolyn was taken over by some invading presence and started speaking differently. And then her body was flung out of her chair with such force she went into the next room. And I know the layout of this house, so I can envision that. Roger Perrin went to help his wife. Roger Perrin did. And Ed Warren stood in his way and blocked his way and said, "No, you must never touch the possessed."
Really?
Tell Roger
Really?
what to do.
Don't tell Roger
Even
what to
now.
do. So yeah, this is his wife. So he punched Ed,
Wow.
and
He
they never
Roger
spoke
Perry
again.
punched Ed. This is the first time I'm hearing this part.
Oh,
What?
Roger says, I think he lost that too. Well, he really did. I mean, this was a tense moment. And because we had another group, a couple of students from Rhode Island College who were coming and, defaming pyros, and they wanted to have that case. That and what the bad experience with the Warrens. The parents, after a while, wanted nothing to do with paranormal teams coming in there. So we lost out on that, but it was an interesting experience for a couple of months.
Right.
My brother stayed in touch with him for the ensuing 40 years. 40 years later, that was the subject of a major motion picture titled The Conjuring.
The Conjuring, that's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, interesting time. But now, most people, I think they do know that that's not totally predicated on fact. What you see in the movie is entertaining, but they know that some other people came in there first, and that was
Yeah, I mean, they
group.
make movies with something is based on truth,
It's
but not
based
everything.
on truth.
But not really. Yeah.
And
But
you augment it.
theatrically, actors did a very good job.
Theatrically, yes.
Yes.
I liked it. I enjoyed it. Maybe nostalgic places,
Right. Well, now was it the same? When the movie, is it the same exact house that you guys are still in, or did they use another house for the movie?
No, they did use another house. They actually built a set for the interiors, but it looked very much like the parents' house. That's why I felt nostalgic. The exterior is different.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well acted. Patrick Wilson.
Where did Annabelle fit in all this?
Vera Flamingo. Yeah.
Where did Annabelle fit in all this?
Well, that was supposed to be.
Oh, Annabelle.
yes.
Annabelle. Annabelle's a Raggedy Ann doll. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the Warrens keep her. Well, they did keep her in a display case with a warning: do not, under any circumstances, open this case.
Well, now the son-in-law's taking Annabelle on the road to Vegas now.
Yeah, Tony
And
Starr
everywhere
has her around. He's been in Fall River, the Lizzie Borden house with her. And yet, is their first book, Ghost Written, of course, the Warrens' first book, The Demonologist. There's a picture of Ed and Lorraine is holding the Annabelle doll.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, personally, I wouldn't take it out of the display case and play with it just to debunk it. Some people have run into trouble doing that. Really.
Right.
Yeah.
But if somebody tossed it to me, they're playing around, it wouldn't spook me. I said, get that out of my face.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't challenge it either because it has an association to it now.
Right.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that after Lorraine's passing, how that all started with. Now they're having these dinner theater kind of events with Annabelle. It kind of freaks me out a little bit because I was like, I don't know about this whole taking Annabelle on the road and taking her out of the case and passing her around a dining room full of people and having all these random people touching her. And
You
I
get
just
her own seat on the plane.
Yeah, nobody wants to take. It's like when I say I'm a demonologist, I tend to get all the seats in that row at the movie theater, And I was interviewed 2 weeks ago now, and the interviewer asked me, do you resent the Warrens for intervening, taking your case? And I said, well, they did usurp our case, and that was a valuable study for us. But I said, no, I have no emotion associated with it. It's so long ago; they're passed on. I do have some good memories of the Warrens too. But I'll give you a quote that somebody told me, who was in the room at the time, and I have no reason to doubt him. One time, Ed Warren said his associate was saying, "Mr. Warren, these people are crazy that contact you." He said, "All the people who contact us are crazy." He said, "You know what? Get up and make it scary."
Oh, Well, at that time, I don't think they had 100% knowledge of what they truly were dealing with completely.
No, but I would say these things like, 10 years ago, and people would say, "Oh, you're so jealous, because you're not the Warren." I
Oh,
did a lecture with the Warrens.
no, you're better than the Warrens. You and your brother were like the duo, like demonology team here. Like,
Oh, yeah, you see Keith and I, or Elise and I speaking together. That's magic. I think it is. But
yeah.
there was such a charm to hear Ed and Lorraine speak. If you ever had that experience, you can't now. That's accurately portrayed in the movie The Conjuring. When you see them lecturing at a college, of course, that's not how they met Carol and Perrin.
Right.
But just to see them out there talking, they were funny together.
Hmm.
They had a repertoire. They were just, yeah, they were charming
Yeah.
people.
Kind of like you
Fun to
guys
listen
as
to.
partners.
And their lecture was spooky. Of course, they did two lectures back in the 1980s and 90s, and one lecture actually started. They had this format back in the 1970s. They started it. One lecture was about ghosts and spirits. The other one was about demons and Satanism. Guess which
Oh,
one they picked me for?
demons and Satanism, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was 20 minutes of that lecture they devoted to me.
Wow.
It was strange publicity, but it was kind of like, I wish I had that. See me when I was younger? Oh, I'll tell you an experience I had before we get off the Conjuring subject. Um, Elise and I were in that house last July. We became acquainted and very good friends with the homeowners, Corey and Jen Heinzen. And of course, there is kind of a presence. People are experiencing the same phenomena that I and our team found there 46 and a half years ago. They're experiencing the same things, and they didn't even know about it. That black form, for instance.
Wow, it's back. It's there. It never got exercised out of that house.
Corey and Jen's son, Tyler, saw the black thing coming through the halls. And it's been filmed. Even in that episode of Ghost Adventures, you can see it.
He didn't come back to the house for 2 months after that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Only the teenage son.
Yeah.
Isn't that fascinating though? How that,
I was in the room where the seance was conducted. I happened to look in the mirror they've just strung up there. And this is so true. I'm not an impressions person. That's more empirical. I have to see, as is this lady, although she's expanding her horizon through meditation. Yeah, but they go rabbit trailing. I looked in this mirror, so help me. I saw myself when I was 18 years of age.
Wow,
Older
really?
hair, more hair.
The house probably remembers you. I believe that. I think
Okay.
Me also. He's like,
I'd forgotten I was rather handsome. I looked at myself and I had time to blink and look down and up again. And I was looking at myself when I was 18 years of age. What a
wow.
bummer it was when I went to the bathroom and saw that mirror.
Like I'm back.
But I was able to contrast it. But I've never had such an experience, not before nor since.
That's amazing. Now, were you and Keith demonologists at that time?
We didn't call ourselves demonologists. I first started, well, I don't know, I adopted that term, but I accepted it. I was involved in several noted paranormal investigations, and I was a newspaper article or magazine article about me. And I was talked about on the David Susskind. That he preceded Phil Donahue. And yeah, I was getting known for this. And I was in a magazine article that said, the demonologist, Carl Johnson.
Oh, we're gonna have to talk
They spell
more
my name
about
with a
that.
K instead of a C. The demonologist, Carl Johnson. I said, oh, okay. Yeah, I'll buy that. Yeah.
Sounds like a good title, right?
All right, hold that thought. We're getting ready to go to break right now.
Okay.
So guys, grab your coffee, your drinks, your snacks, and we'll be right back after this break, guys. Don't go anywhere.
Hey there, hello there,
guys, we're back.
everybody. We are back.
Back with Carl
Yeah.
Johnson and Elise Gianmarco Carlson of Panorama Paranormal, plus some other adventures they got going on right now. So, guys, what's next for Panorama Paranormal? Where does Panorama Paranormal go from here?
Say that 5 times fast.
I know, right?
Say it. I
Panorama
dare ya.
Panorama
I might
Paranormal.
help if I unmuted them though.
Oh shoot! All right,
Yeah, I know.
unmute.
They can smile, but we'll unmute you. We
Hold
should
on,
unmute
guys.
you guys, right?
Yes.
Okay. We'll
Yes, hello.
Okay. So, what's the next direction of Panorama Paranormal? What's next for you guys?
We do have several conferences coming up this year. The Ocean State Paranormal Conference. We got TerraCon coming up. We're going to have a Panorama Paranormal table there in our banner.
Awesome.
I've got the TerraCon. Our banner is kind of long. I don't know if you can.
It was visible in our picture in the background.
Yeah, I think that's the
We did
picture.
that at
backdrop for
Ocean
you
State
guys.
Paracon from last year.
Mhm.
So we'll be doing that again this year.
And
Ocean State Paracon.
Miss Elise has been doing some study of mind expansion, and maybe she wants to tell you a little bit about that. Meditation.
yes.
It's meditation is the root for this to this mind expansion. So.
Well, like I always say, people call me a skeptic. Oh, she comes in, she's the first person to say the boiler made the noise.
And she
Oh, I
is.
hear music. It's wind chimes.
We've had
They
that.
call me Debbie Downer, basically.
Debbie
But
Downer.
I'm very scientific, and I just notice a lot around me, and I can find a lot of real explanations for things. just
Which is
not
great.
Explanations. But I also believe that there are things we cannot explain. And I'm always, I don't want to say jealous, but when somebody walks in and starts having all these thoughts and feelings and premonitions and impressions, I'm like, wow, how do you do that? So I started talking to some people who have those abilities, and most of them claim that they were, just born with these gifts, as they like to call them. And I was always like, wow, I wish I could do that too. I've come to the conclusion that maybe some people can learn.
Ah.
Yes.
And I've been doing a lot of reading about that. And I have always practiced meditation just as a way to calm myself down anyway. I started
Good.
learning that when I was learning martial arts. And, it has a million benefits to your life, no matter what you're doing, not just being a paranormal investigator.
Absolutely.
But the more I've been reading, it seems that, yes, when you meditate, it can calm you down. Actually, I've been reading the best book lately. It's called The Science of Enlightenment, How Meditation Works. It's not a how-to book. It's an about meditation book.
Uh-huh.
And my favorite part is where he describes that we're operating on basically 3 levels. We're in our day-to-day, fight or flight, getting things done, which you have to be in that level.
Yeah.
Then you can work down to you can call it unconscious or subconscious level, the level that people like to work on when they have problems, and it's like a little bit below the radar. But what we're trying to do with reaching enlightenment is reach this 3rd layer, all the way at the bottom, where we're with our source, our God, our one, whatever you want to call it. That's what you're trying to work to. And that some people can sit down, close their eyes, and just head straight down. That's wonderful.
Right.
Some people have to kind of meander around a little bit and find their way.
Right.
Some people, he explained, it almost as getting stuck in that middle layer. And that's where you're going to run into, some people don't want to leave that layer, because that's where they run into their premonitions and their ability to speak to, whether you believe it's spirit or the subconscious or unconscious of yourself or other people or people who have passed on, whatever it is. And some people get stuck there because it's so enjoyable.
Yeah.
And those are the people who,
The theta
they have abilities. And supposedly you can teach yourself to get down into that level, look around a little bit, go down further, come back up, whatever it is. So like anything else, I can read about tennis all day long and know all the rules, but I'm not going to be a better player.
Right.
So the only way you're going to learn how to do that thing is to learn how to meditate.
Exactly.
So that has been my, starting out with 20 minutes twice a day, just learning how. And I do realize that at some point, if I ever get kind of good at this, I'm going to need a teacher, a real live teacher.
Right. Right.
And that's pretty exciting, because I would like to be able to add that to like one more tool. I'd like to be a tool that I can use in these investigations instead of just an EMF meter and a recorder and whatever else I bring along,
Exactly.
So my new and exciting thing to do lately. It doesn't sound exciting. I sit with my eyes closed a lot, but
No, but that's really
But it's
exciting, though,
good.
honestly.
And-
Now, have you found that you are opening yourself up? Have you found that you've started to get impressions and senses and feelings and smells and things like that? Have you noticed since you started putting this effort into that, that has that part of it opened?
I remember as a kid just always knowing what was going to happen. I mean, maybe I just had a real stable life, but you just knew it was a different day that somebody was going to show up at the door to visit that hadn't been there. And I was just had this weird little, and I think maybe everyone has that. And it just gets clouded over because you're so darn busy.
Yeah, intuition. Yeah.
There's something you got to get done every single day. So now I have noticed that because I figured even if I stay on this upper level and meditate, it's going to help with even empirical investigation, because if your mind's quiet, you hear better, you see better, you can smell things better. But what I'm trying to do is go a little bit deeper and actually have these things come to me, you know?
Become that beacon that some people that have the gift call it, that they become like a beacon for this type of activity.
Right. So the things will be coming to me, not so much more that I'm just quiet and can notice more.
Right.
Right.
We haven't been out on a lot of investigations since I've started this, so I can't really say, you know, I gotta spend a little more time sitting in different places other than my room with my eyes closed.
So it's in the testing state, I guess.
Yes, yeah, the testing and learning stage.
That's pretty exciting, though.
It really is.
Yeah, we keep in mind that some valuable tools like an audio recorder, your camera, an obelisk, the FLIR camera, dowsing rods. These tools are valuable, but they do not have intuition.
Right. That's
true.
right.
Or maybe the dowsing rods do, the divining rods. Maybe. But basically, you're relying on your own gut feelings, your own premonitions, what you absorb.
That's awesome. I myself was speaking French a couple of days ago, and I don't speak French.
Ah.
Yeah.
Parlez-vous français?
Yeah, parlez-vous? Je m'appelle Michelle. Comment allez-vous? And I didn't speak a word of French. And I was in my room meditating, started speaking French.
You were meditating when this happened, huh?
Yes,
Yeah.
and words, and I was hearing someone speaking to me in French, and I understood everything they were saying. I was responding back in French. I mean, it happened for a good couple hours. This was going on.
Yeah, but
I just
Tapped
stayed.
into something.
Yes.
Yeah, I was listening to my books, so
Yeah, I tapped into.
What's that, Susan?
I was listening to my books, so I didn't hear what was going on. But I do have on my uncle.
Yes.
No, excuse me, my grandfather and his brother did speak French because of the labulate name. So
And
I
it was
said,
a male.
well, what was he? She goes, he was a male.
It was a male.
I describe him because my grandfather is big. He was
Girly guy.
huge.
Yeah.
He was huge. He had a 13 size shoe.
It was completely all in French. The entire
Yeah.
conversation. I understood everything that was being said to me. I
So
responded
what was the
back.
message? You never said.
It was just run of the mill, just talking French stuff. Like I like this, I like that. What do you like? What do you don't like?
It was just conversational. It wasn't a big revelation.
Yeah, it was conversational, and
Nice.
he was calling me things like dear and sweetheart, like mon petit, bon cher, bonsoir, and like all these things, and I'm like, I just understood it all, and I don't speak French. I've never had one stitch of education in French.
Yeah, she only speaks English, Portuguese, Spanish, and Mandarin Chinese.
Yeah, but not French.
Yeah.
But not French.
But not French.
That's the one that came through, the language that came through.
Yes.
So there's some kind of vast reservoir of knowledge that is around us and surrounds us and sometimes penetrates us. Like Joe with his voice.
Yes.
The voice is validated. It's there. You got to.
I honestly do believe, like, because the portal is opening, a lot of people have been ascending, a lot of people have been getting downloads, and just a lot of new gifts are showing up for people.
Yeah, they
So
are.
I believe it's coming up for you, Elise. I really do.
A good time to do it then.
Yes, now's the time to do it. You know what I mean? And you're right. Put yourself out as a beacon out there, and they will come. Trust me, they'll come.
Yeah, I know
They
I'm
will.
quiet today, guys, and I'm sorry. It's just I'm definitely
feeling a little bit
coming
under the
down
weather.
with a
Oh,
cold.
you're a little quieter.
Best if
Yes.
I don't talk too much because then I might go in a coughing fit or sneeze.
Yeah, she's a little bit mucusy, phlegmy today. You know what I
He's a
mean?
little bit mucusy.
Yeah.
Really
Yes, it is.
mucusy. The little green mucus guy. This one.
No, I don't know how to say
You
mucus.
gotta say.
Is that how you say
No.
mucus in French?
There's got to sound like it. Mucusy.
Right?
Qu'est-ce que c'est? Mucusy.
I only knew French toast, French fries, and croissants. That's all I knew.
Croissants, that's all I knew. Oh,
But it was amazing. It was like, and I think part of it too, Lisa, is like we have like a fear that we have to cross,
Yes.
where we can just let ourselves completely go into that area and that whole oblivion of it. And it's scary at first. It is scary at first because you do have to kind of just trust to release yourself in that manner out to what's happening. But once you cross that threshold and the more and more you do it, it does get more of a comfortable space. It becomes more of like you feel more control of it. And it just becomes more natural. I think it does become more of a natural skill. What do you think, Sue, on that? I mean,
you want me to think with the brain?
yeah, I know she can't think right now.
No, it does. And it's just the more that you practice it, the more you're going to get comfortable with it. And then you're going to find out that, and here I go, sick and all. And then you're going to find out that other information is going to start coming to you. It's not going to just be when you're in a meditative state. You're going to start actually physically seeing the scenes. They're going to connect you with the past first, depending on the energy, because you're more historical. So it's going to be easier for you to connect that way. So
In a way
that's
you
when
understand.
They're going to start you. They're going to show you what's going to be happening. And these are things that will be coming towards you and you will be developing. And then they're going to work you into like the empathic side. So your emotions are going to get a little bit thrown off at first, getting confused about why you're feeling this way. And it's not you.
It's not fun
Those will
being a
be the
baby
things that
empath.
are actually going to come. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. when you start developing it's crossing that fear. You got to just
like anything new.
It's going to be amazing because a lot of the things that you're going to see and you're going to speak about, you'll be able to trace it down easier in history because you do the history as well.
Yeah.
So literally, if
I did have one experience where I was looking for some information on a woman. She was married to a criminal, and I never knew, they got divorced the next year or whatever. Just never knew whatever happened to her. So I looked up her family. I looked up her, and gee, whatever happened to her, she erased from the face of the earth,
Wow.
So for inspiration, I looked up her family. I found out where they were buried, not too far from here. I said, you know what? I'm just going to go, I don't know, I'll go visit her parents' grave or something and get some inspiration. I'm really not knowing even what I'm looking for.
Right.
You know what? She's on the tombstone with her married name. Nobody had ever recorded it. It wasn't in Find a Grave, and it wasn't in the town records.
Wow.
She had passed away later. She lived to be an older adult. She had a married name, and she was on that tombstone. It just wasn't recorded anywhere. I looked up everything.
I was in Elisa's company that day, marginally assisting her, carry something.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, how do you do that? It's almost, if I didn't know her better, I'd say she planned that.
I walked right to the grave too.
Me.
That was the other thing. We parked the car. I'm like, how are we going to find her?
How are we going to find her?
Right
And you walk right to it. And I'm wondering, to me, that's something, is it coincidence or is this girl really psychic?
Well, she really creeped you out, Carl, in other words.
No, she did that day. She surprised the heck out of me. I was envious. I can't do that stuff.
Just two people could find it a lot easier. We could be, searching around.
Yeah, one of the two people did find it a lot easier.
So there she is. You said, what do you mean? We didn't start looking, really. We walked right to it.
That's amazing, though. So your intuition is kicking in.
I'll tell you something she may or may not remember. She did that twice in that day.
Yeah.
She had two successive cemeteries she was exploring with the same researching the same family. She did it in two cemeteries. She just happened to drive there and park the car there, and there it is.
It was you developed some sort of connection.
It seems like she has with her in-depth research of this family. Maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe she opened up some current or eddy. Continuum, and that brought her there.
Absolutely.
The mechanics of it.
It was in the space-time continuum.
Yeah.
As Samantha Stevens would say.
We all go there.
Yeah. But honestly, now is the time to do it, honey. So as much as you can do about working on those kind of skills and your divination and your intuition, gut instincts, all that, now is definitely the time for it. But be prepared, because when things start happening, they start happening. So it's kind of like being in the Conjuring house, whether you're in the Conjuring house or not. Things are going to happen to you everywhere.
Yeah. Did Elise use the term realist? I don't know if she touched on that, because rather than label herself a skeptic, I think most paranormal investigators want to be known as a skeptic. Either they're a psychic or they're a skeptic. No, I'm too smart to be fooled. I don't believe easily. Well, skeptic's kind of a loaded term. It has a connotation besides just shutting things down.
Yeah.
You negative Nelly. Well, you have been called that. But I think she's more of a realist, and this is a term she adopts. realist. That ties in more with rationality, I think, and object.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so too. There's nothing wrong with being a
She's shutting things out. It just means she has a realistic assessment of what.
Yeah.
Right.
Heard things I can't explain. I mean, even being over at the house,
Conjuring
farm
House, the farm, frowned on Ron Top.
I mean, there you just start to expect things. So went and visit one day, picture fell off the wall. Went and visit another day, you hear a door slam.
Yeah.
People be jumping off the couch. And
Just as we were in 1973, hearing these things, seeing these things.
That's awesome, though.
You just kind of look at each other like, "Oh, is there a camera in that room?"
Right, to see if you caught all that. Have you tried working with like any type of divination towls, like a pendulum?
Yeah,
Have you
they have
tried
a
doing
little-
tarot?
That was part of why I wanted to start doing this.
Mhm.
Because, though the dowsing rods sometimes do work for me. The pendulum, no. Cards, I'm kind of new. I just play with them and read them a lot, just to start getting a feel for what everything means and start learning. So that someday I can, learn that. But
A good exercise with the tarot, honestly, is like just kind of like you say, playing with the deck and turning a card and trying to assess how you feel about that card first.
Yeah.
It starts training you, because a lot of tarot is not so much, oh, it's a pentacle, oh, it's a wand. No, it's more of a channeling thing. You channel the deck
Yeah.
more than anything.
Neither one of us actually read a deck.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
might read the runes, but I channel everything.
Yeah.
It's just what I've always
It's a
done.
tool. It's
Yeah.
it gives you a spatial concept to connect with that other reality, that
Mhm.
information.
So it's
Yeah.
a good practice when you are trying to open up things to kind of use these types of tools.
Or you can always try crystals as well, because
Crystals too,
yeah,
yes.
the energy of the crystal might give you the extra added boost that you're looking for,
Mhm.
especially when you don't have the
I'm trying
ability.
to give mine some extra energy. I wear my amethyst all the time.
And I have a crystal wand, and there's crystals on the end anyway. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. We have
You
a new
mean
one too.
Sweet too.
We have a new one right now too that's actually gets made for us.
Hand
specifically.
carved.
Yep. Handmade in Indonesia for us, specific only to
Yeah, that light isn't
Network.
on, so nobody can see
Oh,
it.
let me see
Hold
it.
on.
What
I can
stones are
see.
on that? Of course, we can see the crystal. You could call that a rose crystal. And what is on the end? The bulb
This
on the
one
end?
is amethyst. This is quartz. This is let's see. Then we have the red one is that's red jasper, tiger's eye, green aventurine. That's
a purple. That's amethyst.
yeah, that's an amethyst,
Complex.
turquoise,
And obsidian.
and I think a howlite or a milk
Yeah.
quartz.
And then on the side, it's got stuff like looks like
Yeah.
little sodalite crystals and more. It's
There's
encrusted
there's
malachite.
bigger crystals here, small here, small here.
Mhm.
We
I
have them
think
hand carved.
as the maker is assembling that, they're charging it. Yeah, look at that.
Oh yes, absolutely. So we actually we're doing pre-orders actually now for this
Yeah.
because he's making them handmade specifically.
Yeah, it
for
takes
us.
2 weeks to make them.
Mhm. So that you
So,
should try
it's pretty
crystals,
neat.
literally, and taking crystals with you on these things.
She
Everybody's
does. She
collecting
just.
a white
She
quartz.
just naturally collects white quartz.
I just find it everywhere I walk. Anytime I go for a hike, I just find the whitest piece of quartz I can find on the ground and take it home with me. And now I've got this nice little, almost looks like an altar. It's not really an altar, but got this little handmade bowl that I bought from a little girl, and all the
Aw.
stuff around it, a couple of candles. So it's really cool. actually.
Yeah, more crystals though. I mean,
Yeah,
we,
literally,
we
the more the merrier.
yeah, we stuff our
Plus
bras
us.
with crystals, our pockets with crystals, like crystals for everything. And it does help, like especially energy. Energy is the big thing too. Like when you're on a paranormal investigation, you know about them sucking all the batteries, right?
Right.
Well, they suck your own personal battery too. So having crystals helps keep your energy up and keeps your energy flowing the right way. So
Yeah,
you're
it
not
does.
feeling so dead and drained after an
Yeah.
investigation and things like that.
And
And
that's how
then
you can smuggle them
help
out of Canada. Just stuff whatever crevice you have.
we do. We do.
What?
We stuff crystals in every crevice
Yeah,
we
my
got.
grandmother used to call it her wallet.
Yes.
No one go in my wallet, she said. She was an Irish woman to boot. Even with her walker, she would have shoved it up your caboose.
Oh yeah.
Heck no.
But I mean, there are crystals that help with channeling. There are crystals that help with so many different
Yeah.
things. So it's worth the try because crystals can help open you up too. You know?
Yeah, literally. Even, it's just go to a store and find out. Like there's crystals that actually amplify, like say a banded calcite. That's a banded calcite. Now, a banded calcite will amplify every other crystal around you.
Mhm, mhm.
So sometimes it's like you have a crystal, but it's just not enough. So a banded calcite is something good to have with you to help amplify the extra energy you need, or maybe you need this, maybe you need that. So it's a whole bunch of different things, but literally the best way to do it real quick, and then we'll go back to them. I'm sorry before I start having a
I'm glad you're talking.
I'm going to have a coffee. I have to share information to help people. So what it is you want, if you're right-handed, you want to hold the crystal in your left hand. I'm just going to pick up anyone.
Not the dominant hand.
Right. Not the hand you use, because that's your energy going out. Energy coming in is the hand you don't use that much. So I'm right-handed, so I will hold every crystal in my left hand to see if it's meant for me. So, and if it makes me feel good, or clouds parting, or if I feel information is being clarified, then you know that particular crystal's meant for you. So people can give you as much information as you want, but the only one that's gonna know
is you.
What's
your feelings
best for you is you. So
believe it or not, feelings.
She got her crystal in Salem.
Oh yeah, but I mean,
there's
even such a thing with your meditating chakra wands like this.
Yeah,
we do a lot of chakra meditation.
Yes, and
so
these help open you up quite a bit. They do too.
And even certain shapes like channeling crystals, like this, or heart shape, if that's what you're connected to. Then there's pyramids, which I think are out there. So there's different shapes and sizes and style and geodes to help absorb. Literally, we're like a crystal over here.
Yeah. So it's a little chakra pyramid that you can help. It helps with your meditation. It helps open everything up too.
Like a chakra.
Yes. And then for paranormal investigating,
that's what I'm making right now, actually.
A selenite wand is very important too if you're doing crystal work with the paranormal investigating. Plus, it does help open up your chakras too with this. And it's copper wrapped around it because copper is a conductor. Same thing they use for the rods.
Selenite is for the aura, and the crystals here are all the chakra crystals, and because it's wrapped in copper, because it'll conduct it and it will help combine them to keep you safe.
So it keeps your energy the right way.
Let them talk.
I know, right?
If I get going,
I'm finding this interesting.
Actually, going on crystals and crystal energy, it's like right now I'm in the process of making.
They're not done yet. Look at that.
Literally.
Chakra bracelets.
I am making that right now. Chakra bracelets, and then I have the geodes that I wrap the geodes too. So
geodes are power amplifiers too,
because I wanted a cam that was more of an amplifier, and the geo will help keep people clean. So I managed to get 15 of those. So
like your own little like kit for when you go do investigations should include the crystals and all those other different things that'll help open you up, and also makes you more of a beacon. And that's what you want, is like you say, you want them to come to you.
And sometimes it's not about you. Sometimes it's about the spirits, at least from my experience. What they do is they try to utilize your energy. So I will bring the crystal so I'm not drained.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and that's the other reason why we sell them. They're out there too.
So it's like offering your energy to them.
Bags of mini crystals, because sometimes you just need that extra energy.
Well, this will make my weekends a lot more interesting, because I spend my weekends cleaning cemeteries.
Oh, great though. That's great though. You know, so opening that up, and even like having crystals with you at that time. Think about it. We don't have cell phones without crystals. Crystallized stuff is in medication. Crystals are what makes watches work. Crystals are what make technology work in general, because of the energy. So it works. So it might be something that you might want to add to your adventures about opening up, because it will, and it'll help keep you safer and protect your energy more, and you won't get so sick and drained and all that afterwards.
Strawberry.
Yeah.
What you got there? It looks plum colored.
Strawberry quartz.
Yeah.
It's really not very good in this camera. I use my other camera when I do a show. Dalmatian jasper.
Yeah.
I mean, you name it, we got it. But we keep certain things out, we sell, and then we rotate and put the others out there. So, and then I have a thing for pink tourmaline.
Yeah.
I really like having my pink tourmaline with me. And then this is honey calcite,
which is a good channeling one.
And an amber actually mixed together, because amber melts.
It's like a resin.
Times it's too soft because it's a resin. So a honey calcite you can hold without it going. So you don't got to worry about that. So I like the honey calcite. It kind of gives you the same thing.
So working like and even though, like you say, pendulums don't work all the time for you, but trying them when you go to different places, because you may find that it'll tap into the energies at certain points, and
it also could be the crystal of the pendulum as well.
Yes. But you can do this though, Elise. I think you really got it going on.
With sodiolite and wrapped, and then I have another one that I utilize from time to time, which is the black one, but then I also have a white one just like that.
Yeah.
So
I always
it
have
just
one in every
depends.
purse. There's a pendulum in every purse. There's a crystal in every purse.
Yeah.
I have tarot deck cards up the yin yang. They're everywhere all the
Yeah.
time.
And then
Yeah.
with me, when I'm channeling, so I don't get drained, I have the ruby and zoisite, and then the
Lepidolite.
The lepidolite is what I use, the 2 hearts.
Yeah.
That's always useful, Michelle, because if you find somebody broken down on the road, you can pull over. Like, oh, thank you for stopping. Listen, I can't help you tire, but you know, if you really feel this, you know,
Oh no,
kryptonite will absorb your negativity and you
Yeah.
so
actually
refreshed.
Yes.
While you're waiting for AAA, you know, you'll be stuck, but
We'll keep
you
it.
feel the earth.
come on, you
and your
know,
connection.
we can do this. Actually, no, I can do this.
We'll
I'm an
align your chakras
aromatherapist.
while you're waiting.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
give you the chakras while you're waiting.
I'm a Reiki master teacher. I have a doctorate in holistic psychology. I went to school for the crystal energy.
Yes.
And I'm also a reverend, believe it or
I
not.
can't change the tire, but I can help align your
I can
chakras.
change. See, I
I
can.
like that's kind of cool. I can't change your tire, but I can help align your chakras.
That's right.
Susan seems to be feeling a little better. I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm getting there.
That's
so
my girl.
It's the
It kinda,
stuffy.
it comes and goes.
She has allergies too. She gets the sinus
I'm allergic
infections
to
a lot.
dust.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah.
I have some evidence if we have time to share some.
Yes.
We do.
Now,
Only
because
one.
now shifting from all this positivity into something more, a little more sinestro,
Ooh.
the demonic realm.
Ooh, I like it.
Nice.
Yeah, because I am a paranormal investigator who specializes as a demonologist. That means I address some of the more malevolent seeming cases with preternatural leanings that are brought to my attention. A demonologist is really, as you know, my colleague James Anito would support, the other half of duo demonology.
Right, right.
Someone who studies the cultural traditions and lore of wicked spirits. I'll be an applied demonologist, and I will go out into the field and address some of these situations. Now, and my brother Keith is also a demonologist, and he was performing an expulsion of a negative presence in a home. It was actually our colleague Kristen Gartland.
Nobody ever calls me for anything fun.
Well, I bring you in on this, something like this. Yeah. Yeah, at least wasn't there either. Yeah, and well, what we will do, our formula is to command the invading spirit to depart and give us a sign of its departure. And that's what my brother was doing. This is in Reading, Massachusetts, about 9 years ago, and I believe, and the audio recording isn't the best quality, but it was just fuzzy, right from the start. But you can hear my brother praying in Latin. He's saying that the peace of God descend upon the earth, is what he's saying in Latin. Then you will hear a growl that morphs into a wail. It sounds like a man's voice, but it growls and then it turns into a wail as the spirit is being cast away. So maybe we play that.
Oh, yes, yes,
You
yes.
don't,
Where we left it.
yeah, oh, well, let's see if we got it queued up. Just don't press record by accident. Okay, let's see what we got here. And she's gonna like make sure it's hooked up there. While she's doing that, I can set it up. Also, I sent you a picture of my brother Keith. I don't know if you can pull that up. You may or may not be able to. I sent it in an email transmission to show what the guy looks like.
So this is during this specific EVP. That's your brother Keith during this one?
Yes, it's him speaking. And she's, Elisa's trying to center it on that now.
Okay.
No.
Awesome. Yep. Sue's working on her end here, getting that picture up too. So that's
Yeah, if
pretty
you can bring it,
exciting.
just flash that picture of Keith.
So this was about 9 years ago, you say?
Yeah, about 10 years ago this year, I believe.
Wow, that's amazing. So in Massachusetts, boy, that's where it's at when it comes to haunting.
Strangely, it is. A lot of haunted, especially the more malevolent kind. I don't know why Massachusetts, with its long history, maybe.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
So what else are we going to hear on this? We're going to hear him speaking.
You will
Latin.
hear my brother praying in English first, and then he's saying Pi Jesu, Pecate Mundi. He's invoking the holy name of Jesus, but he's doing so in Latin. Latin is an effective language when combating the demonic realm because it's an ancient language. It's a dead language. the demons seem to know it, and
Ah.
they will retreat from it. So Lisa's trying to find that. We should center in on it, and yeah.
Now,
Good.
do you on a regular basis still do like practice your Latin, Carl?
Not recent. I learned some Latin, and I it's like my Spanish. I live off of what I learned years ago and haven't learned more. And all that. Yeah.
Can you read the Latin though proficiency better than
Well, somewhat. Yeah, I can. I can kind of hold my own with it. I can read it. Enunciating it is a little more challenging for me at this point. I like Lode Muste, Benedicamos te, Adoramus te. Yeah.
I actually have the picture of a photo. I have the photo picture on my phone.
Okay, Lisa's ready to play that at any time. But if you have that picture of Keith, we can show.
That's what she's trying to
Yeah, I'm trying to figure. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna have to.
Okay.
Because
well, whenever you get it, just flash it on.
She's sending that to me, and I'll be able to do that.
And again, this was in Reading, Massachusetts, at the home of Christian Gartland, and they're blessing her home and casting out an evil influence.
Wow, that's awesome.
All right, I
Okay,
got
let's
that
see.
photo.
All right, so we're getting that set
And then we can
up.
post it up on the page. But Michelle's
You hear
probably
it now?
phoned up right now. Hold on, I don't think I can get it up on this one. Yeah.
So send that to me. Okay, coming.
That was very faint. We can play it. I don't know if you were able to hear that at all.
I was listening to Michelle talk.
Oh yeah, try that again. I'm sorry.
That's okay because we know we're turning up the volume for you now.
Okay.
Okay, she's got it, and you'll hear. It's very subtle in this recording.
Okay.
Very faint there, but you can hear it. Starts out with a deep growl, and then it turns into a human voice wailing.
Wow.
Should play it again.
Okay.
There's only so much we can augment it now.
Yeah.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
It's Keith speaking.
Mighty and angels, guard this dwelling in the name of Jesus Christ. Ie Jesu, et Paulus Catholic, et Amen. Ie Jesu, et Paulus Catholic, et Amen. August Day, et Paulus Catholic.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
That sounds like Alien, though.
Yeah,
When you listen to the headphones,
utter despair. It is.
Wow.
Yeah, it sounds alien.
That is a true demon sound.
So demons can be recorded audibly, and they can sometimes be photographed. And when you get a photograph of a demonic entity, it's usually in the form of red eyes, red dots, look like spaced like eyes.
Oh wow.
I have a picture. I don't know. I sent you one, but the format is big. The pixelization.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the
But I have it. It's on our banner. Our
Okay.
banner for Demonology Incorporated and Panorama Paranormal. So we're going to try and show it. Maybe you'll be able to see it with some clarity here. Lisa's holding it up.
All right. Let me see.
Yeah. I know, we got the light. Our studio is the
like
Johnson.
African American. Hold on.
So,
Do you see it?
yeah, now you can see it when I hold it back.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, you can. Wow.
I sent it to you from.
Yeah. Trying to open it up right
All
now
right, hold
too.
on.
I got it right here and right here.
She's trying to pull it
Wow.
open. Yeah, it's weird. It kind of looks
Now you can see it better. I can see it.
African American. Yeah.
But you could see the face, the feature on the
Yeah.
nose. You could see the chin, the eyes.
And
Oh my
the hair
goodness.
the hair that kind of goes here
Look
and
at
up.
melty look on the face.
Yeah.
Very malevolent seeming, yeah.
Wow. Okay, let me see here. Get this sent over. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, we're gonna post it on the page for you.
I'll put it up and down a little bit again.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
making me download. So I'm downloading. And on my
Oh.
phone, it goes blank.
Yeah, she's got
Yeah.
it up on the
Yeah,
thing.
it's
so
coming. It's coming.
Yeah, it's difficult.
You think you can pull it up, what I sent you? If you
Yeah,
can,
I
that's
can
the
pull
one.
it up on what I'm working
See
on.
more clarity with that, yeah.
Mhm.
I'm working off of Zoom, so I can't
Yeah.
add a
Restream?
picture right now because restream because well no, I'm working off of Zoom. OBS isn't working with Zoom right now, so I'm literally working straight off Zoom.
We got it. We'll get it up there.
But I can get it. We're trying to figure this out now. But there's no way I can get up a picture. Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I can do this.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Wait a minute, I can do this.
Wow.
Nope. I know how to do this.
That's
Thelma and
the
It
Louise.
just
Yeah.
started working. Hold
Like
on.
we did the alien stuff.
Yep. Got it. Hold on.
Okay.
They're doing aliens.
All right. I'm going to do a screen share. Give me a minute, guys.
Yep. She's gonna set it up so they can be able to see it right on the screen, just like we did the alien stuff the
What
other
a
day.
Bloody brain fart. There we go.
All right, she's got it.
Share that.
Okay. She's
There we go. Yeah.
Oh, it's up.
Yes. Look at that face.
Wow.
That was captured by a man in Coventry, Rhode Island. He and his family were driven out of that house several times. Eventually, they had to leave the house because of that activity.
Wow.
He went back in to grab his camera, his expensive camera. And I was investigating this house. I had recorded the voice. And he saw the man standing at the top of the stairs, the male, whatever it was. And he took a picture, not knowing if anything would come out in it. And then he left. I don't think he even remembered to lock his door on the way out. And there's what he got. That's how his picture came out.
Oh
You see
my
it's translucent. So look at the eyes, just the malice in that face.
Absolutely. Now, do you believe that it was finally exorcised out of the house?
I don't know because I haven't talked to the present homeowners. I think it's centered around their family more than the house.
Oh.
It's really
Several of
weird
them.
because over in
this
area, it's almost like you see an ear.
Yeah, it's almost like you
pointed
see an ear and you can make the
Yeah.
details of the mouth
Yep.
and then the eyes with
See
the
mouth,
nose.
see the teeth.
The
see the
detail,
lips.
yeah, you can see that. It's just
I
this
can see
leering
the
grin,
nose.
like the Joker, you know.
Yeah.
Less human looking.
The mouth's too big for the face.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
mouth is
Yeah, wicked.
It's obviously not a human being.
Yeah, no.
That's
Anthropomorphic, but not a human being. One recording we got, we tried an experiment. I don't have the recording with me. It was somebody else's leading the investigation. And well, I'll give her name. Her name is the homeowner, the wife, and her name is Tina. And they're no longer living there. And we did an overnight investigation, and Dawn was the head of this team, and I was called in to being a demonologist. And I said, try asking the children and the couple who were out of the house for the night. Ask it if it misses Tina. We're in the parlor room.
Oh.
And, she said, do you like Tina? Do you want Tina home? So I'm listening to almost 90 minutes of audio recording. I probably won't get anything. And then we hear Dawn say, it's responsive. Dawn says, do you like Tina? Do you want Tina home? Then you hear the sibilant voice. Oh, turn up the volume. What is it? And it said, imagine us playing this for the homeowners.
Right.
It says, oh yeah, I'd like to boil Tina.
Oh my God.
Oh, if you could have been there to see that, being paranormalist yourself, to see Tina's face when we played this for her.
Oh,
Wow.
She was
man.
excited it, but she was also excited about it because now, other people know we're not crazy. There was a male and a female spirit there, and they would be recorded, sometimes seen, glimpsed. I actually saw it. I saw it at the corner of the aisle, the corridor, and I just happened to look over. We were seated at the long kitchen table. I happened to look over, and there is this man staring at me.
Wow.
It was just a floating head, so I thought it was so solid looking. It looked like a man in a black turtleneck.
Wow.
Glaring at me, though, looking at me very intently. An instant later, it was gone. It didn't fade away. It was just suddenly gone.
Wow.
Like a human-looking ghost. And that was the man. And Laura was a member of our team, and she kept exotic birds. Tina had 2 lovebirds. The owner of the home had two lovebirds, and she was not keeping them well. The cage was dirty, so Laura was cleaning the cage for her. And I remember Laura saying, "How you doing, babies?" They look like little puffins, but they're colorful. These lovebirds, and I played back, of course, we were always recording there.
Right.
I played back the audio recording and hear Laura say, "How you doing, babies?" And a woman's voice says, "Dying." I hear it at the time, but in the recording, imprinted on the recording, dying.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
Within less than 2 weeks, both of those birds had died.
Oh my
I
God.
caught something.
Oh, poor birds.
What a house. And yet that was never resolved. Never knew how it started. They had a strange history. The lady of the house, she and her sister came from the Azores and Portugal Islands.
Uh-huh.
And uh, they had in their possession 10 Ouija boards.
Ooh.
3 of them they burned, 7 of them were lost. So they were always experimenting. And they came from a culture where this is believed in,
And I bet you it definitely wasn't
They
the Milton
burned
Bradley kind.
No, no.
No, no, no.
Wow.
Yes.
Because
Color
when I
game.
was in Portugal, I saw a lot of homemade like Ouija boards. At the time, I even made one myself at the time. And it's pretty crazy, but it was never good things that came out of those Ouija boards. And part of it was the reason because it was the darker, the dark witches or the darker people that were actually making them. And like,
Oh, yes. Well,
it-
they imbue them with the spirit. Traditionally, every Ouija board or spirit board has its own spirit.
yes, yes. And it was never good. And every one that I've ever run into
Exactly.
never was good. Never good. But wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. I wonder if she was the one making them for the islands. She might have been-
Or maybe your family.
Yeah,
or
she could have
something
been
like that.
because that's one of those things that you made hush hush behind closed doors,
Oh,
in the
yeah.
dark at the night, and you just wouldn't just hand somebody something that like over. You wouldn't.
I remember I think it was my second time over there. I was sitting in an easy chair and upholstered chair, and I was just sitting there, and my chair with me in it moved back against the wall. So I'm in the chair and it's being pulled back, but nobody's pushing it, nobody's pulling it.
Mm.
It's there.
Wow.
And this was one of those rare situations where we would go in there, and usually, paranormal investigation, you say, oh, all hell broke loose after you guys left. Things were moving around. Yeah,
Right.
my rosary, my crucifix was pulled off before you got here. Things were happening while we were there. Crockery flying around the rooms. And yet I only have a dearth of evidence from that. A couple of pictures, audio recording, and that wonderful picture you saw.
Yeah.
Because it was somebody else's investigation, she was not willing to share it.
Mhm.
Um,
There's some dark stuff in those islands. There's some dark stuff. There really is.
because
And
it's a culture that embraces a belief in
yes.
spirits influencing us every day.
Mhm.
Plus, this couple, they had 7 children
Mm.
of all different ages.
Pretty standard for that. Pretty standard.
Yeah.
Not much TV out there.
There's no TV out
Okay.
there.
This Azores, he was from Guatemala.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
And they would quarrel. They would always have arguments, and then they'd have their make-up intimacy. And
They had nothing better to do. There was when they finally
yeah,
did get television, there was one channel. There
yeah,
was one channel. And you know what was on the channel that everybody loved, and didn't even exist anymore here in the
Whoa.
States, was Murder She Wrote. Angie
Jessica did it.
Yes,
Oh my word, Murder She Wrote. Oh,
that's what
you
it
get to
was.
know all
And
the
everybody
episodes.
was like, "Oh, Jessica Fletcher! Oh, the Fletcher!" Everything, and it was dubbed. It was in English, but the words were all in Portuguese. And they would be glued to the television, and the show was on. It was,
Watch it again.
what is it? What'd you just say?
I didn't say who's.
Oh, I thought I just heard something say. It was
Getting
pretty crazy,
AVP,
though.
getting audible voice phenomena coming in now.
Maybe.
It could be. I wouldn't be the first time, that's for sure.
Not
But-
on this show.
But I know that like the islands, there's some bad stuff that you can go down a really dark path over there. My own background is my parents were a Romeo and Juliet story. My mother's side was the white witch. My grandmother's side on my father's side is the bad witch. So I come from light and dark. So both sides of witchcraft from the island. So
Yeah.
it's pretty.
Michelle's bisexual.
Yeah, I'm totally bisexual.
Not factual, yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Better than just some kind
Yeah.
of gray with a combination of white and black. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've experienced quite a few crazy things, and I went back to live in Portugal when I was 12, so I lived there for a number of years before I came back to this country. But as I was there, that's what I was learning was more and more and more about it, because
You
there was
knew,
only so
yeah.
much my grandmother could teach me here. So we went back there. I went back there with my grandmother, who was the last village witch from the village my mother is from.
Oh, fantastic.
My grandmother was the dark witch from my father's village. She was already here in this country at the time. But I went there and trust me, I learned some crazy, crazy things and learned how to do a lot of stuff. I learned how to work with my ancestors, both sides. I learned blood magic. I learned, you name it, curses, the whole 9 yards. So
Told you she was bisexual.
yeah, I'm totally bisexual, guys. You know, I'm out of the closet, out of the broom closet. I'm bisexual, guys. I'll hex you white or dark.
We don't
Your
judge.
choice.
Tu en bruja negra.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
We got 9.
Well, Elise and I have touched a Ouija board before.
Recently?
This Elise and I have
Once or twice.
a spirit board. Have tried as an experiment because they don't intimidate me. They don't spook me.
Yeah.
We got some interesting results, did we not? In the house adjacent on this property adjacent to this, we are in our studio here is the Johnston Historical Society headquarters
Yeah.
barn. And next door is the 1825 Elijah Angel House. One
Oh.
of the patriarchs in the town of Johnston, Rhode Island. Fascinating history to that house. He's a granite carver. And we were in there. We brought a Ouija board in there, smuggled it in. And we got some, well, one thing we got was, I think it was reading the numbers from your driver's license.
Yeah, we got a bunch of numbers, and I'm like, gee, they sound
Isn't that amazing though?
They sounded
jumbled
familiar
up,
to,
but-
not to me, but they sounded, I said, but it's got a pattern. It's repeating
jumbled,
these
but
numbers.
yeah.
And it turned out, and then she said, oh my.
So the spirit was IDing you. It wanted to see your ID.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
My,
before we go, you got to hear the story of that house because it's haunted.
The former president and his wife had lived there for a while. It's a two-family house, which was unusual for 1825. It was an up
Oh.
and down. But they have a small apartment upstairs. They lived there, and she always used to tell me a story. We're Portuguese lady, so she always told the same story, the same way she said.
Mhm.
One day I had my eyes closed. I heard Louis come up the stairs. I said, "Hi, Louis." He didn't answer me. She said, I opened my eye. I felt him sit on the bed. I opened my eyes. I said hello. She said, I opened my eyes. It wasn't Louis. It was a man in a top hat. I said, what did you do? She said, I closed my eyes and I told him, you live downstairs. I live upstairs. Go back down there. So we always used to laugh over this story. She wouldn't go in that house by herself because we show it the downstairs as a museum, and she would never be in there alone. I would always have to go. So I tell the story once in a while during tours just because it was kind of funny. I
Yeah.
didn't put much stock in it. The husband's like, no, I never saw anything. Just not too long ago, I had an open house. A woman came in. She said, I used to live here years ago. I lived in the upstairs apartment. I said, wow, that's fantastic. And before I got there, she had told everybody a story about seeing a man in a top hat in the house.
Oh.
Which I didn't really put a lot of stock in the lady's story, but to hear it from somebody totally unsolicited, totally, I never knew lived there, told the same exact story. So now we have something to look at.
Oh, I remember that, yeah. And
That's
this lady was
amazing.
telling the story, and I said, I was in the house at the time. We were showing the house, and as a member of the Johnston Historical Society, and I said to somebody, please get Elise over here. There's something she'll want to hear. And it's the same entity. She saw it. How rare is that?
And
But
we
it happened.
actually, we did a talk, like I said, a few weeks ago about the Dewey Decimal System at another nearby town's library. And there was a woman who said, oh, I think I just mentioned that I was with the Johnston Historical Society. And she said, oh, that house in front. She said, my mom used to care for a woman who lived there. And I always got a creepy feeling in that house. Is it haunted? And I'm like, oh, I'm starting to think so.
Yeah.
Wow.
Could very well be, could very well be. It's being with, I tell you, even till this day, my aunts who know very well what I do, and they know I do cards and everything, and I still will get an aunt will go, Michelle, can you come do my cards? But nobody knows. Come on the lunchtime when everybody's when nobody comes and knows and see. They expect it to be on the down low. They expect it to be hidden still.
Yeah.
And this is my own family, which I come, I'll do a reading with any house full of people. It doesn't matter, but it still has to be very to them. They still expect it to be very secretive and very dark and occulty, and they it's still to this day, it still has that original stigma, but they grew up with that kind of thing.
Yeah.
They grew up with that kind of thing, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got about 4 minutes left to the show. So
4 minutes?
if you guys would like to give your information about how
Please.
people could get a hold of you, that would be great.
Tell us all of it. Dual Demonology, Panorama Paranormal, you name it, everything.
Well, that's all linked up.
Okay.
We're going to Rochester, New York. I am going there with my friend and colleague, James Anito, and we are going to, we are the personalities there. And we're going to be answering, we have definite topics, and we are going to lecture from one topic to another to another. And we are going as, Elise cannot be with us, but we are going as duo demonology. One topic will be the origins and reality of demons. And then we can segue into the next one would be shadow persons. You've heard of the shadow person phenomenon.
Yes.
If you want to get in touch with them, their email is duo demonology, which demonology is spelled with
The old King James version. You want to spell it? You want
DAEMONOLGIE@gmail.com.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yes, you did. You did that very clear.
And
Part
we
of
also have a
CIA.
Facebook page at Duo Demonology. Sometimes it's just easier to find things on Facebook.
Yeah, there's always the ubiquitous Facebook to fall back on.
And then for both of us, it's Panorama Paranormal. Again, this is at cox.com.
Okay. All right.
Cox.net. I'm sorry. Panorama Paranormal at cox.net. Or again, on Facebook, Panorama Paranormal.
Okay.
It'll be easier to find us there.
So yeah, you can find us. Just look it up, refresher, and there's the Carl L. Johnson fan page on Facebook.
Carl Leonard Johnson.
Yes, you remember.
I do remember. Your mom would be upset if you didn't throw the Leonard in there.
That's right. It's always Carl L. Johnson fan page.
That's
I don't
right.
have a fan page because I'm not famous. So.
You're getting there. After this, you sure will be. Word when they see you on this.
No, that's fantastic, though, guys. So you guys, we're gonna have to have you guys on again soon. You guys have so much.
Like a month again, or whatever you want to wait. We'll do it next month.
Yeah, just contact Michelle. I don't do that part anymore. She does. I just do all the tech work and the crystal stuff. So she does the booking now. Well, that's her job.
You're a terrific team together.
We do. We work. We have. That's like you guys. We are partners in crime here.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you, of course, are welcome to come back to Slater Mill in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Historic.
Soon as we can. That's a definite. We're gonna go, and we're gonna go find some Bigfoot.
Yeah.
In fact, there is a public open to the public. It's getting filled up on Friday the 13th. There's going to be a paranormal investigation conducted at Slater Mill.
Oh, we've been to a couple of those Friday the 13th investigations. Those are awesome. That's the one we went to.
They always got something happening there. Bring your recorders and your cameras to that. But you can also book it privately.
Yes. But that's always a lot of fun. We're gonna, as soon as we can get up there, we're definitely gonna get up
and
there.
Nothing stays. It's all legitimate. So you don't know if anything's going to happen, what's going to. Something always does.
Oh yeah.
That element of the surprise.
Every time we've been there, there's always been fun things going on all the time, and always different. Too.
That's what with me is that one little boy that keeps trying to talk to me.
Yes, the little boy is after you.
That little boy keeps trying to tell me something, but
it still haunts her till this day about the little boy.
It drives me nuts. It's like I want to go back and say, okay, what did you need?
Yeah.
All right, we got 90 seconds left.
Oh my God, 90
we're gonna
seconds.
see you guys on. Excuse me.
I'll be sending you guys.
We're gonna see you guys on Sunday.
Yes.
And I'm definitely gonna go.
She's sneezing all over the place.
So my voice is cracking now. Sorry, guys. I'm allergic to dust. What are you gonna do?
I'm dusty. All right.
Yeah. All right. So we will see you here again. I want to thank Carl and Alona. Elise. Sorry, Carl and Elise. Sorry, I don't have a brain today. It's all.
Panorama Paranormal, Dual Demonology,
what she said,
and all kinds of fun things.
Oh my God. All right.
I'll be in touch with you guys though, and we're doing this again next month. Mystery Guest Wednesday. Let's look at the third week of the next month. Thank you guys.
Call me on base. Bye-bye.
Here on the ATU Network. For more information on upcoming shows and appearances, be sure to follow us on Facebook and on the web at awakeningtheunknown.wixsite.com.
Awesome.
Voiceover work done by 3 Brain Test